Alright, what's going on everybody? We're back with another video. I decided to crank out two in one day just because, I was like, I'm already here and doing the tips and tricks, so let's go ahead and, just give another little quick informative video. I'm hoping this one won't be as long as the last one. I think the last one is probably going to be around like a little over 20 minutes. So if you stayed through that whole video, thank you. Be sure to drop, subscribe, a like, anything helps out. But today I'm going to be talking about how to rank up your orcs and the easiest way to do that. So right now we are in, I think we're in Nurnen. Yeah, so the reason I'm in Nurnen is that the orc pits here have the lowest level orcs out of the entire game. So I think the maggots start around 15. I think warriors is 20, and I think that the champions are somewhere between 25 and 30. They may be a little bit higher, but for sure the the maggot orc pit starts out at 15. So I have a few here. I think I just put a legendary. Yeah, so I just put this guy down here. Your guys may not start out this high, but this is sort of just showing you how and when to use what orc when you go to fight in the orc pit, because I can't tell you how many times when I first started playing this game that I lost so many, I think I lost a handful of legendary orcs to just regular trash orcs in the orc pits because I wasn't paying attention. I was just trying to rank them up as fast as possible, and it really cost me in the end because I lost these, possibly amazing legendary captains to just this, garbage normal guy for no reason other than me just being, impatient and not taking a second to step back and say, hey, will my guy fight well against this one? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to back out and we're going to start the first one. I'm going to be really salty if my guy dies to this guy. So what you want to do is when this screen pulls up, so you can either start by pressing the spacebar. I think it's like X or A on Xbox and PlayStation. I don't even know if this game is out for PlayStation. Anyways, so for me it's spacebar, and that's if you want to start. And I would not recommend just hitting spacebar or whatever it is for you when you go up like this. What I want you guys to do is, if you'll see there's a detail option, you always want to click this option. And the reason is because you want to look at these. So every captain is going to have their weaknesses. Some of them, if they're legendary, or even some, I've even seen a few normals that literally had nothing here. And so at that point, you're literally just rolling the dice. Maybe my guy will win, maybe my guy won't. But at the end of the day, I'm not too much of a gambling man in this game. I'd rather be guaranteed that my orc is going to win rather than taking the chance that this random orc that he's put up against might have a chance of killing him. So the ones you want to focus on are these three right here. The hints don't really matter because these are hints that would be good if Talion was fighting him, but Talion's not going to be fighting him. He's going to be fighting another orc. So these three are good. This one right here, fear of pinning, no point. Pinning is something that you do. Orcs cannot pin, so this is useless. However, these two are good. Clumsy, again, it's useless. It's only if Talion is fighting the orc. Talion's not going to be, so there's no reason to worry about this. This is a good one to look out for. So whenever you see sickly, you always want to put an orc on your team that has a poison weapon. And the reason is because he'll kill this guy in 2 seconds because he's sickly. Is this anything that he... Alright, so Terrified of Spiders also sucks because it's not anything that an orc can do. But this sickly thing is... this is actually a perfect example. I think that... let's go ahead and start. I think the legendary guy I have is actually poisonous. He sure is. Okay, so I could go through any of these orcs, and you just want to look for... So here's another one, poisonous. They all have their own things in front of them. So fiery is obviously fire. Cursed has a curse weapon. Poisonous has a poisonous weapon, and so on. I think Dark can sometimes have a cursed weapon. Mystic can also sometimes have a cursed weapon. Let's see. Machine, generally, they don't have any weapons. They're normally just tanks. Is there anyone that I'm missing here? Curse, Fiery got that. Mystic got that. Curse, Terror, Poisonous got that. So I think I might have missed one or two throughout this, but the great news is that our guy has a poisonous one. So let's just sit back and hopefully my guy does well. We're about to find out.
Wish you never met me. Another dumb glob to kill. Gonna go. That's my blade. Down here.
I just realized I made a mistake. I hope it does not cost my follower his life. Okay, clearly it's not. So he hit him one time. Granted, he is twice his level, but just because he was poisoned, he's literally dead in one hit. He's dead. So I'll show you the mistake I made after this. I'm glad it didn't cost me my legendary guy. Because he was sickly, I wasn't particularly worried. But if you'll notice, I got a gear, and luckily enough, I got Mithrane. A lot of times you won't get the Mithrane, you'll just get the gear. But this is how you gain Mithrane. So if you go into your inventory, it'll pull up this thing, and I just destroy it. So right here, I got a level 58 armor off a level 15 dude, and I get 300 Mithrane when I destroy this. So this is a great way to farm Mithrane to open, boxes, or just to have it for buying siege upgrades, etc. Stuff like siege and defense upgrades, yada yada yada. So show you the mistake I made. Let's go and do one more fight so I can show you guys an example. So we'll do it like we normally do. Look at the guy, great. Look at the details. Go up here. He's also sickly, great. Vulnerable to self, useless because he's not fighting Talion. Again, these are useless because he's not fighting Talion. And he doesn't have any mortal weaknesses, and he doesn't have any fears. So lucky for us, we got 2 sicklies back to back. Great. So here's what I did wrong. What you want to do is you want to take into account what this orc is. So he is a raged mind. You can also look at his stuff over here. I didn't look at the last guy because I saw sickly and I had hoped it would be an easy win. Here I am saying I'm not a gambling guy, and I just gambled right there, so I'm an idiot. Either way, you want to look at what his strengths are, and more specifically, you want to look at what kind of weapon he has. So this guy doesn't have any super good weapon, right? He's a mystic tank, so he doesn't have a fire weapon, he doesn't have a poison weapon, he doesn't have a curse weapon, blah, blah, blah. And the reason you want to look at this is because, let's say this guy had a fiery weapon, and I go in here, and I look at my guy, and I go to my guy's details. So my guy is vulnerable to stealth, and he's heavily damaged by beast attacks. So we know that the other guy doesn't have a Caragor mount, or at least it didn't show that he had a Caragor mount. So we don't have to worry about beast fodder. But let's say, like I said, the guy I'm fighting has a fire weapon, and one of my fears is burning. So this guy could be level 60 fighting a level 15 guy, and if that level 15 guy hits him once, he loses because it'll light that guy on fire, and I will be constantly terrified for the remainder of the fight. And so that guy will just have a free win because the more you do these orc pits, the more you start to realize trends, and the more you start to look for, what's good, what's bad. And if you get dazed or if you get feared, your guy will lose. The only way he doesn't lose that is if he gets enraged. And unless you're extremely lucky, 9 times out of 10 they don't get enraged unless, I think a few of my legendary guys have a trait where they're literally enraged by anything. So they could be enraged at any moment for any reason with no particular trigger or anything. But essentially what you want to do is you want to put yourself in your orc in a situation where you're going to win, right? There's no way that this other guy will win because your guy has the advantage. And if you also notice that in the top left, Shaka went up 4 levels for beating that last orc. So it doesn't matter what level the orc you're fighting is. It doesn't matter if he's the lowest level. It doesn't matter if he's the max level. Your orc will always gain anywhere from 3 to 4 levels each fight. So if you start out, like this guy started out at 34, so it's going to take me quite a few fights to get him all the way up to 60. But the good news is that I can pick and choose which fights I want to send him through based on, again, the weaknesses and the vulnerabilities for both him and his opponent. So let's go ahead and send him in. Hopefully he can get the job done 2 times in a row. Have a feeling it's going to be another quick game, or another quick fight, because he's sickly and because he's over half, he's less than half my level. So 1 hit should kill him. Let's see how he does. On a side note, I did want to say one thing. I've never had the timer get all the way down to 0. I think the lowest I've ever seen it go is about 30 seconds. And then the dude executed my guy. Dude, today is just all about ironies. Here I am saying that I'm not going to see an enraged guy, immediately get a guy that's enraged. So look at that. One spear, dude's bleeding out. He actually might die from... He's going to die from the one. Again. This is how easy orc pits are if you take your time and look. So there we are again. We got lucky. Instead of gaining 3 levels, he gained 4. Boom. We're 4 levels closer to maxing out Shaka. Again, we got gear. We can go to our inventory. Bam. Free Mithrane. 9 times out of 10, this is extremely... So it's extremely boring to sit here and grind, orc after orc after orc. So what I like to do is sometimes when I'm eating dinner or when I'm just taking a break to, maybe watch a YouTube video, go watch a Twitch stream, something like that, I'll have the Twitch stream up either on a second screen, on your phone, however you want to do it, whatever is best for you. And then I'll have the game running on the background, and I'll just let the orcs fight, and then when the fight is over, I'll go through and start another one, and then I'm not going to sit here and watch them fight every time. I'm just going to be doing something else, but this will be happening in the background. So again, this is just like a quick little tutorial on like what you need to look for in the orc pits, what's good to look for, what's bad. And at the end of the day, you're gaining Mithrane, and gaining Mithrane is always a positive. So if you guys enjoyed this video, if any of these tips helped you guys out, hopefully your orcs are doing great in the orc pits. Drop a subscription, drop a like, all of it helps. But I will catch you guys next time.